I have been in many meetings over the past several months where the phrase, "I am worried about," seems to be the default mindset, almost a default expression for some people. What I notice when this phrase is used is it is often accompanied by a strong negative effect on people's energy. Although there are some fears that cause us to check things a little more thoroughly, the bulk of our fears are hardly ever helpful. To dwell in fear or to spend more than an initial few moments being safe is rather unwholesome. For many of us, this gut reaction to steer clear of fearful moments is normal. However, to deny all fear is just another way of providing distance from fears. The real question is, am I really fearless if I'm not intimate with my fear? None of us are immune to fear. Indeed, the Buddha taught that at the base, all beings experience a state of anxiety, fed by our habit of resisting the impermanence of our existence. So how does this align with the Buddha's teachings or offering fearlessness to others? What exactly is fear? What is fearlessness? According to the Buddha, fear is an unwholesome state of infatuation. Another definition is thinking vividly about what we don't want to happen in the future, or dwelling on an unhappy past event. Fear is a mental attempt to control a negative outcome. So, what are the teachings about antidotes to fear? To genuinely free the mind from fear, we can't simply deny that there's any reason for fear. We have to overcome the cause of fear, the delusion that makes fear unskillful, the delusion that we are unchanging beings who need to protect ourselves from what we are separate from. This is both a spiritual and practical exercise, for if we obsess over non-existent or trivial dangers, we'll squander time and energy building up useless defenses and diverting our attention from genuine threats. So in order to overcome our delusions around fear, we need to practice both calming and insight, samatha and vipassana. Samatha is the practice in the Zen tradition as radical acceptance. Here is a Zen story about the state of mind. A fierce and terrifying band of samurai was riding through the countryside, bringing fear and harm wherever they went. As they were approaching one particular town, all of the monks in the town's monastery fled, except for the abbot. When the band of warriors entered the monastery, they found the abbot sitting at the front of the shrine in perfect posture. The fierce leader took out his sword and said, "Don't you know who I am? Don't you know that I'm the sort of person who could run you through with my strong sword without even batting an eye?" The Zen master responded, "And sir, I am the sort of man who could be run through by a sword without batting an eye." Radical acceptance is supported by vipassana, the insight into and the confidence of our adaptability. Buddhist teachings point us to the concept that worry is a misuse of the mind. We have ways to constructively use fear in some insightful and adaptive ways. We can accept the facts with realism. We can understand that we can always do better and limit our fears and find an alternative and build upon the strengths we have. Each fearful situation is a starting point, and learning how to rapidly identify the positive in adverse situations can free us of both fear and regret. All this can be easily discerned against the background of a serene mind. So, consider your fear as the starting point of fearlessness. Do not try to cast it out. Rather, regard fear as the kindling to build a big fire of fearlessness. Fearlessness is not the absence or denial of fear. It is the intimacy with fear. So what are you afraid of? Become intimate with your fears. Get to know them, and you will see your life take a turn for the better. As always, peace and love, Jim.